Good day, viewers. Good morning. Welcome to NOA River State Dialogue. This program is streamed live every Friday at 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Now, we've been talking about the topic, building a people of peace. Together we can overcome security challenges. We've talked and stressed the need for peaceful coexistence, talked about dialogue as key in resolving conflicts. Today, we shall be talking about fake news and its effects on social media and the community that we live in. And I have here with me in the studio to take on this topic, Dr. Edward Banigo. He is an assistant director and the HOD programs. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you.
To my right, I have Mr. Ezekwa Eluma. He is the Community Orientation and Mobilization Officer in charge of NOA office, Ahoda East local government area. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, viewers.
Okay, now let's kick off. I would like to start with you, Dr. Edward Banigo. We know that social media is unavoidable in our society today. And we've had a lot of fake news being spread in social media. So what exactly is fake news?
Well, thank you. The issue of fake news is very germane in the life of our country, especially now that we are having some challenges. Fake news, what is it? Fake news is essentially untrue information presented as news by those who want to make mischief or who want to profit from what they are doing. Today, the internet is everywhere. In as much as it has brought joy and progress, it has also brought this downside, which is fake news.
Okay.
And we know that the internet is a common tool in the hands of the youth, especially. So, and even those who have wrong intention for their community and for the country. So, what we see today, the internet, the social media is awash with fake news.
Okay.
And the consequences of this is so much. It's so much for communities, for families, and for our country.
Okay. So what is the effect of this, Mr. Uma? What is this effect of fake news in our society today?
Well, you know that fake news is very damaging.
Okay.
Before you know it, the members of the public would have reacted negatively or positively as it is. But then, in most cases, it is aimed at, damaging the person's, reputation,
Okay.
an organization,
Okay.
or even the government, including an institution.
Okay.
So it's not good for any society at all. So for me, I feel that the effect of fake news is not something that should happen to any organization at all.
Okay, or any community,
Or
the country at large. Okay. So now, can you give us examples? Let our viewers know. Can you give us an example of how fake news has resulted in conflict in a society, or maybe resulted in deaths of people in our society?
Yes, because of the anonymous nature of the internet,
Okay.
people just hide in one small corner of the wall, generate ideas that are damaging to society and communities. And indeed, fake news has wreaked havoc in most communities today. Here in River State, there are some communities who, because of the problem they have with their neighbors,
Okay.
will put in the social media some news, fake news indeed, that so number of persons have been killed. And at the end of the day, what do we see? That generates conflict, tension, killings. And when it comes to health, fake news has even done more damage to our society. The era of Ebola, we saw news did in as much as possible to use it as a tool to disseminate information on how to tackle the problem there. But some others who thought they knew better were putting out there that salt is a solution. I mean, saline solution is a cure for the Ebola virus. said. So what did we have? A whole lot of people kill themselves consuming salt in large proportion. That is one effect of fake news. Even with the coronavirus today, fake news, people are even spreading fake news even more than the virus itself. Some will tell you that consumption of alcohol cures the virus. And today, even men of God and everybody are into alcohol. Until government have to counter, I think the Center for Disease Control have to counter this fake news. That was when people now realized that, oh, they were doing damages to themselves. And before you knew anyway, 1 or 2 persons died as a result of taking alcohol. And today in Nigeria, with the problem we have with youth, the looting that is taking place, the pandemonium that is taking place, some of them are caused by fake news. The social media is awash every day of warehouses where palliative are stored. And before you know it, youth and hoodlums will storm these areas, damage, and even kill, all in the name of searching for palliative. Meanwhile, some who are also passing on this fake news may not know that they are passing fake news. And that is why it is proper that whatever thing we get in our we get from social media, we must of salt. We must suspect it as a fake news, and we must cross-check with the conventional media. That is proper conventional media, the reputable ones, not just any conventional media. Also go to government websites and cross-check whether what you're reading is correct or not, so that you too will not be a vehicle in spreading fake news.
Okay. Can you add to that, Mr. Etipa?
Well, thank you very much. You see, like I will always say, it's good to stay away from fake news. It's just good to stay away from fake news. If you cannot stay away from fake news, then of course you have to check the source. You check the source, and it does not end there. After checking the source, you are also expected to search for the sources. You check other, like he mentioned, like Dr. Banago mentioned, you check other government media and all that to be able to. And then of course, you are expected to do what? Investigate the article. Investigate the article, and then I think finally you visit some facts from websites and all that to be able to know what it is, what news it is like. So I like one time somebody sent an information to me on Facebook. When I read, I made sure I finished it. And then when I looked at it, I said, this can't be true. I went back, I called the person, luckily I have the person's number. I said, what is the source of this your information? And he said someone that they forwarded to him, shared to him, so he had to share to him. I said, well, you are misinforming the people as far as I'm concerned, because I don't think that this kind of thing happened anywhere. And this, for me, this information that you have just sent is not true. He said, well, it's up to you. And I said, okay, but it's up to me because I have discovered that it's fake news. What about those who are not able to discover that it's fake news? And like I said, I like to say that agenda setting is one of the functions of media. So when you set the agenda like that, people begin to discuss. And by the time this one will bring a story, the other one brings a story. The next thing is that they form opinion. And when they form opinion, the fact is that the damaging extent of the fake news will not show. Before you know, people begin to react the way they react. So the best way is to do what? To avoid stay away from fake news.
That means they should not take an article just on the face value. Right? So investigate before you start sharing. And I hope I'm advising your mind. Before you start sharing an information, you said investigate. Maybe check even the site where this information is originating from.
Sure, that is very important. In as much as the Constitution guarantees us freedom of expression and all that. We as Nigerians should also know that there are conditions that apply to these rights, because where your rights start, that's where your right ends, that's where another person's rights start, so that you're giving right under the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria to express yourself does not mean that you use that right carelessly,
Okay.
to the extent of creating panic, destruction, and even loss of life in society. So we have to be careful with this issue of fake news. Today, smartphone is everywhere. It's in the hand of everybody. The good, the bad, the ugly, the rich, the poor, the tall, the short. So as our faces are different, so also intentions are different. Some have very dangerous intention with these gadgets.
Okay.
So it is important, very, very important, that we must cross-check before we put through. Otherwise, at the end of the day, too, sometimes we embarrass ourselves. You embarrass yourself when you end up sending fake news that are not true to people around you. It may put them in trouble and embarrass you. We should really stay away from fake news,
So
as my colleague has said.
do you think that government should regulate social media?
Well, that has been a contentious issue. The river and body of water are flawed, and they are all bodies of water.
Okay.
You know, but one is disastrous, one is not. The river is useful because one, it has bank,
Yes.
it has banks.
Okay.
But the flood is disastrous because it has no control.
Okay.
So there must be some element of control if you want to live in a stable society.
Okay.
There must be some element. We are not saying that government should guard the press or guard freedom of speech, but there must be some responsibility.
Okay.
You know, if you do anything wrong with the internet, there should be some repercussion.
Yes.
You know, so that people will stay away from doing it with this. So, in as much as it will not be proper for government to guard the press, but I think some element of check, you know,
Should be placed.
so that we do not see the kind of confusion we're seeing today in society.
Okay. So viewers, you can start sending in your comments, and if you have a question to ask, you can start sending it in. We are going to take it up, during the program. Now, just to deviate a bit from fake news, we know today that in some areas in Rivers State, some local government areas, or some areas even around the nation, we've heard of flooding of communities, people having to evacuate their homes, schools being shut down, students cannot learn because their schools have been overtaken by flood. Do you think that something like this can result in conflict in the society? And then what should the state and non-state actors do in response to these people? Because we are getting reports that people are crying, communities are crying that nobody has come to their aid. So do you think things like this can result in conflict? And so, apart from that, what is the role of state and non-state actors in helping to suit the condition of the people?
Well, we have noted earlier, or in previous edition of this program, that conflict arises when there are clashes of interest. And it is a settled matter by social scientists that when people are confined in a restricted, in a small space, there is bound to be conflict, essentially because their interests will vary, and so that conflict. So with flood, the flooding, the one that is taking place in Rivers State today, has pushed people away from their homelands.
Yes.
Has taken up space. So now the little available space, everybody who is running away from that flooding, especially in the Orachi region of Fogba, Ibima, and Awoda, they are crowded, and this is generating conflict. This is generating, even though it is at conflict level, but if it is not well managed, it may degenerate into crisis. And that is why both state and non-state actors need to act fast. Now, the first, we have the National Emergency NEMA.
Yes.
They should go there and do the needful. See how they can help the people. The state government too has a responsibility, because these are citizens of Rivers State, and it is the responsibility of the state government to also see to their welfare. And most importantly, the local governments themselves need to act.
Yeah.
Because they are closer to the people.
Yeah, that the first, they should be the first
They
responders.
should be the first responder. You know, the way local governments are going about their business today, we sometimes wonder if they are actually there for the people. Because in an event like this, they should be the first people to respond.
Yeah.
Waiting for assistance from state and federal government. And indeed, NGOs, this is the time to assist.
Okay.
Even public spirited individuals, so this is the time to help those who are in need. And I also want to use this opportunity to call on the corporate bodies there. We have some oil companies. They should not wait until crisis erupts before they assist communities. This is the time to be friends to these communities, so that at the end of the day, the discomfort which they are suffering, our brothers and sisters they are suffering,
Okay.
can be ameliorated.
Okay.
You know, we should not wait until they start fighting themselves over the little crumbs that is available.
Okay.
We should do something before it gets out of hand.
I know, Mr. Ezekwa, you are from another East local government area, and we know that there's flood. Is there flood in your area?
There is.
So have there been any response?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, there has not been response yet. Even though I think the council is trying its best, the little it can to ensure that the people are being evacuated from where they are to a better place where they can at least have some peace. But the point is that the government has to do enough. Because these people are moving from their comfort zone to a where they don't even know how to define it. Okay. So, but at least to the extent that they have moved, there should be some kind of palliative or kind of a way to help them make sure that at least they come up and be happy. Even though they are not happy with the flood, but they should be happy that they are safe where they are. That's why That's why if you go to some communities now that are flooded, you still find people there staying there. They are daring the flood. Staying there. When you ask them, they say
they have nowhere to go.
So I also want individuals who have any individual that has a place or has somewhere to at least give these people this comfort. They should go and get them out from those places and put them in where they think they can. And of course, you know that like now, cassava, in time to come, you will see there will be problem, especially with the agricultural produce and all that. The farms have been taken off.
Yeah, we even heard that some of the farmers are harvesting doing an emergency.
They don't lose out completely.
Exactly. And you see canoes now, like the chairman of our made an effort to send canoes to some affected communities. Even otherwise it's lost. It's lost. It's community submerged now, otherwise it's lost. So definitely the government should do everything. That is to show responsibility to your citizens. So thank you, and I think that
Now I'd like to take some comments. Comments have started rolling in from Mr. Chinwe Okwara. Thank you for streaming live with us. He said people must take responsibility by verifying the sources and intent of information on social media. Fake news has really done a lot of damage to our society. We said that. So thank you, Mr. Chinwe. I have from Mr. Eleite Lohari. He says one good way of guarding against fake news is to get your news from platforms that face consequences and not any site or blog. Get your news from platforms that face consequences and not any site or blog. So viewers out there, just note this point. Then I have from Mr. Charles Williams Opara. He says fake news can create emotional anxiety and panic in people. So I suggest in strong terms that government should regulate social media. We have talked about, we said it should government regulate it. Government should regulate social media and also do a robust enlightenment to create awareness on the negative implications. On this forum, we are also trying to get this information to you that fake news has negative implications on our society. So let's guard against it. We have from Mr. Bekimbo Williams. He says to debunk fake news, the truth must be told by standing on the truth at all times. One is key. So avoid them. Avoid fake news. Stop sharing any information you see without verifying the authenticity of that information. Like I said, just to go back on the top, we're talking about flooding in some communities in Rivers State and across Nigeria. We are using this medium to call on state and non-state actors to quickly go to these areas and help to alleviate the suffering of the people. Now we said, okay, there's another, more comments are coming in, so many. I hope we can take all. From Mr. Telohari again, he said people should endeavor to fact-check information from fact-checking sites. Fact-check information. Yes, we have mentioned that. I agree, we have mentioned that. Then from Mr. Obaro Mukoro, he says, no news is better than fake news. We must resist the urge to break or spread news whose sources or veracity is in doubt. Resist it. Resist the urge to share this news, no matter how juicy the information is, the news is. Resist the urge to spread it. So kudos, he's saying kudos to NOA. We should keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Mr. Obaro. We will keep up the good work in raising the consciousness of people to government policies, programs, activities, getting you, abreast with things happening in our society today. We promise we are going to give you some tips, some security tips to keep you safe during or whenever there is conflict in a society. So I'd like to start with you, Mr. Ezekwa. Can you give our viewers some security tips?
Well, security is the business of everybody.
Okay.
Security is business of everybody. So,
okay.
For me, it's a function of everybody. You just have to be security conscious.
Okay.
We don't need security experts.
Okay.
To be security conscious.
Okay.
You can build it. Mm-hmm. Have interest in security.
Okay.
And when you do that, you see yourself, keying into security issues.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be able to know some of those things, especially check your environment. I like that. I said, understand your environment. When things are getting wrong in your environment, security wise, quickly identify.
Okay.
Know your neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Know your neighbor. You know when a stranger is coming into your environment.
Okay.
You know when a stranger is coming into your neighborhood. You identify and try to investigate on the person. It does not need calling police or the other or calling in security operators, but by careful understanding of the characteristics of or what character the person possesses, you'll be able to identify whether it's a good neighbor or it's a bad neighbor.
Okay.
Now I want to say that as much as possible, we all have phones. If not all, at least majority of us, have phones. When things happen in the environment, we should be able to, at least in our phones, we should have a minimum of 50 naira airtime in our phones, so that in case of emergency, we can quickly alert the security operatives.
Okay.
And then the rescue will come.
Okay.
I know of a situation where we should also be discreet about sending out, making calls or sending out information during the security or the security challenging period.
Okay.
Like some persons would say, maybe that somebody armed robbery going on somewhere, and the next thing you say is, please come look, armed robbery is going on in my environment, the armed robber is hearing you.
Okay.
When after, like in case like that, the armed robbers came back another day to attack the person who was making the call.
Okay.
So we should just be very careful, and we should know how we place some of these instruments in our own environment. Like you finish with hammer because you are very tired, you drop the hammer. The armed robber that comes in the night will take the hammer to break into your own house.
Okay. Okay.
There's also a situation where we are get very tired of. When we get very tired, we want to sleep without knowing whether we have locked our doors or not. Okay. Or we've locked our gates or not. Okay. And when that happens like that, it becomes a problem. So we should try and, as much as possible, to do what? To know what we want as far as security is concerned in our life.
Okay.
Security conscious, that's the end.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you, Dr. Edward Banigo, but let me read some comments that have just come in. From Itie Don Echo, he says, fake news can destroy. We said that fake news can destroy.
Yes.
So she's asking NOA to intensify the campaign against false and fake news. That program is ongoing. NOA is in the 23 local government areas of Rivers State, the 774 local government areas in Nigeria, and this same program is going on at the same time. We are going around telling people to stop or desist from spreading fake news.
Indeed, we have mainstream it in
Yeah.
most of our programs.
Most of our programs. So people should try to pass information across the way it is without distorting it. Okay? She's also saying fake news destroys. Yes. Fekimbo is saying avoid them, avoid fake news, avoid them totally. He's calling for total avoid fake news totally. Okay? So now, can you also add to that, Dr. Banigo? Can you give our viewers some tips to stay abreast, to stay safe in any period of conflict?
Well, survival is the first instinct of man, and historically, historically, communities and settlements were developed, taking security into account. So, as individuals, as families, and societies, security should always be a top priority.
Okay.
Now, at times like this, it is important to be situationally aware. Be aware of a situation, just like my colleague has said.
Okay.
That way, you can avoid danger. Now, we have from today, there are a lot of stolen items because hoodlums have been breaking into people's homes.
Yeah.
So I will advise people to stay away from laptops, phones, and gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
If they must buy, they must go to authorized dealers because some of these items may have been stolen.
Yeah.
And when the problem comes, you'll be traced and you'll be an accomplice to that crime.
Okay.
If you relocate to a new place, it is always necessary, important, go to the police station. You can just go see the DPO. Oh, you're a new person, and so that make friends, so that in the event of a problem, you can call the police, and they know you, you know them, so that they can come to your rescue. This time is not the time to stay late out. Always good to find your way back home before night, before it is dark.
Okay.
And indeed, it's important to let your family and friends know where you are, so that in the event of emergency, they can locate you. And be aware of what's going on around you. Tune into local stations before you go out.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have anything important to do, stay at home.
Okay.
Avoid crowds and ensure that your children stay at home, stay around if they are not in school or they do not have any meaningful thing to do at that time. And indeed, avoid fake news because that one too can complicate the situation at hand.
Doc, do you know that some persons, at night they will all switch off their phones? They switch off. I think it's dangerous.
Okay.
It's not good at all.
Yeah.
You have to leave as much as possible, charge your phone to the point that it can serve you throughout the night. At all times.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid of calls, because when calls come, some of them are calls that will want you to act
to know what's going on around you.
And then you now switch off your phones, and the danger is already with you.
Yeah, and then maybe when somebody tries to reach you who is in danger, they cannot reach you. Okay.
And indeed, when you see crowd, routers, like we say, blend with them. Do not speak big grammar. Speak their local language, and don't live large. It's wrong. It's dangerous to live large in a community. You're flaunting wealth all over the place. You may be the next target. So just blend with the community. Okay. That's camouflage, as the descriptor will say, so that nobody picks you out as a target. So it's important.
Okay. So thank you, viewers. Thank you for streaming live with us today. From Chinyere Ita, she says, avoid fake news, Nigeria. It's a call on Nigerians to avoid fake news.
Maybe that will be the next hashtag.
Yes. Hashtag avoid fake news. It has brought, it has destroyed our society.
From misery.
Death to lots and lots of people. Not just in Nigeria, but all over the world. So I want to thank you, viewers, for streaming live with us today. It has been a great time. But before we go, I'd like to give you some police helplines and hotlines that you can call on whenever you are in danger. And there's also a saying that says, when you see something, say something. So we have our police helpline, and that is 0805 7000001. 0805 7000001. We also have hotlines. I'm just going to give you two of them. We have 0803 200 3541. I'll take it again. 0803 200 3541. We also have 0803 5524 880. Again, 0803 5524 880. So these are some hotlines and helplines that you can contact when you are in danger, or if you see something, you can call and they will quickly respond to you. We also have a complaint response at 0705 679 2065. I'll take it again, 0705 679 2065. Thank you, viewers. It's been an awesome time today talking about fake news and social media. And also we are trying to call on states and to quickly go to the aid of people. I've also tried to bring to you some tips that if you will abide by them, it will keep you safe in any time of conflict, no matter where you are. Remember, this program is streamed live every Friday at 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And as part of our mandate, we bring you government policies, programs and activities, and also seek your feedback and support for these programs. So thank you very much for streaming live with us today. We'd like to tell you that COVID-19 is real. Stay safe. Take responsibility. Do you have any last word? Just 50 seconds.
Well, viewers, I want to tell you that at this time, ensure that you stay safe wherever you are.
Okay.
I would just like to say that security is everybody's business.
Okay.
Make sure you are secure.
Okay. And from me, fake news destroys our society. So like we said, this program is streamed live every Friday. So watch out for another episode, same time, same day, next week. Thank you. This is National Orientation Agency, Rivers State.